In the world of political journalism, few people hold their own quite like Karoline Leavitt, Trump's youngest press secretary. Whether she's fact-checking CNN, exposing double standards at MSNBC, or shutting down Whoopi Goldberg on live TV, Leavitt has proven time and time again that she's not afraid to take on biased and woke media figures. Today, we're breaking down her most viral moments where she completely dismantled their narratives.
I'm so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off.
It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
It means no more funding for illegal DEI programs. It means no more funding for the Green New scam that has cost American taxpayers tens of billions of dollars. It means no more funding for transgenderism and wokeness across our federal bureaucracy and agencies. No more funding for Green New Deal social engineering policies.
And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was a person's world.
Remember when things got heated on live TV? CNN anchor Casey Hunt abruptly ended an interview with Trump's national press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, after she refused to back down from talking about the potential biased network's debate moderators, CNN's Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. With the first presidential debate of 2024, this moment is already sparking major controversy. Was this a necessary move to keep the conversation on track? Or is CNN shutting down opposing voices? But not everyone was happy with their selection, and the Trump campaign made their objections loud and clear.
President Trump is knowingly going into a hostile environment on this very network, on CNN, with debate moderators who have made their opinions about him very well known over the past 8 years and their biased coverage of him.
My colleagues, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, have acquitted themselves as professionals as they have covered campaigns and interviewed candidates from all sides of the aisle. I'll also say that if you talk to analysts of debates previous, that if you're attacking the moderators, you're usually losing. Now you have people like Doug Burgum coming out and saying, well, President Biden's very accomplished, trying to set expectations in a different place. What do you expect from Joe Biden?
Well, first of all, it would take someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently frequently likened President Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome.
Let's not forget when the View hosts landed themselves in hot water for doing exactly what they claim to be against, tearing down a successful woman. Joy Behar left viewers stunned when she suggested that 27-year-old Karoline Leavitt, Donald Trump's press secretary, only got her position because of her looks. Yep. The same hosts who always talk about uplifting women in politics. The hypocrisy was real. Was this just a bad joke, or did they completely contradict their own message? Watch the full clip and judge for yourself.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Let's not forget the moment Karoline Leavitt completely flipped the script on CNN's Caitlin Collins in one of the most brutal live TV exchanges ever. During a heated White House press briefing, Collins thought she had the perfect gotcha moment. But wow, did that backfire fast. Leavitt didn't just push back. She obliterated CNN's misleading narratives, leaving Collins scrambling for words. It was a total takedown that exposed media bias in real time. From policy debates to holding the press accountable, Leavitt dismantled every spin attempt, and the internet went wild. The clips went viral, conservatives celebrated, and CNN? Well, let's just say this wasn't their best moment. Watch the epic exchange and relive the moment CNN got a reality check.
That Democrats have been labeling President Trump a to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to one of the worst mass in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him. He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail for it. That is real political that has led to 2 heinous attempts on President Trump's life that, by the grace of God, he was able to escape, and he is here with us today. So yes, President Trump knows a little bit about political because he's experienced it himself. In talking about the tragic realities of war that Liz Cheney and her father Dick Cheney have got this country into is not political. It's talking about the reality of the foreign conflicts that the Washington, D.C. establishment have sold out young Americans to for decades.
And just like that, Kaitlan Collins is stunned. The press room? Completely silent. At this point, even she knows she's been wrecked. Karoline lets out a little laugh. Because honestly, it was way too easy. You could see the panic in Kaitlan's face. She never expected this level of receipts.
Please, his opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those 2 attempts. The second attempted on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie, and yes, you will take political like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was an That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And I'm so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016.
Let's take a moment to recall when CNN's chief White House correspondent, Kaitlan Collins, went head-to-head with White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt over the legality of Trump's DOJ purge. Collins came in with tough questions, but Leavitt stood her ground, firing back with a firm response that had everyone talking. This exchange quickly became a viral moment, fueling debates about media narratives, presidential authority, and political accountability. Relive the intense back and forth and see how it all played out.
On the freeze in federal funding, who advised the president on the legality of telling government agencies that they don't have to spend money that was already appropriated by Congress?
Well, as the OMB memo states, this is certainly within the confines of the law. So White House counsel's office believes that this is within the president's power to do it, and therefore he's doing it.
Okay, so they disagree with lawmakers who say that they don't have the power to freeze this funding.
Again, I would point you to the language in the memo that clearly states this is within the law.
And on what happened on Friday night, the administration fired several inspectors general without giving Congress the 30-day legally required notification that they were being fired. I think only 2 were left at DHS and the DOJ. And then yesterday we saw several prosecutors, I believe 12, fired from the Justice Department who worked on the investigations into the president. As you know, they are career prosecutors, therefore they are afforded civil service protections. How is the administration deciding which laws to follow and which ones to ignore?
So it is the belief of this White House and the White House counsel's office that the president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch that he wishes to. There's also a case that went before the Supreme Court in 2020, Scala Law LLC versus the Customs, bureau protection. I would advise you to look at that case, and that's the legality that this White House was resting on.
You're confident that if they bring lawsuits against you, those prosecutors who were fired, that they will succeed?
We will win in court,
And
yes.
did he personally direct this, given they worked on the classified documents investigation and the election interference investigation?
This was a memo that went out by the Presidential Personnel Office, and the president is the leader of this White House.
Let's not forget the moment Karoline Leavitt stunned a reporter with her response to a question about prices. When pressed for an answer, she didn't hesitate. She shut it down instantly, calling it a hypothetical question. The exchange left the reporter speechless and had the internet buzzing. It was yet another moment where Leavitt showed she wasn't about to play into media traps. Relive the moment and see why this clip went viral.
Karoline, can you guarantee that those tariffs won't increase prices for Americans, including at the gas pump and the grocery store?
I think Americans who are concerned about increased prices should look at what President Trump did in his first term. He effectively implemented tariffs, and the average inflation rate during the first Trump administration was 1.9%. In fact, when President Trump left office, it was 1.4%. So President Trump is going to do everything he possibly can to cut the inflation crisis that the previous administration imposed on the American people, and he will continue to effectively utilize tariffs.
If tariffs do increase prices for Americans, will the administration reverse them?
That's a hypothetical question, and the president is intent on ensuring that he effectively implements tariffs while cutting inflation and costs for the American people. And, you know, the media has this way of just looking at everything in a microscope rather than looking at the whole of government economic approach that this president is taking.
No matter your political stance, one thing is clear. Karoline Leavitt doesn't play by the media's rules. Whether she's calmly dismantling a CNN narrative, calling out The View's hypocrisy, or delivering a fact-based reality check, she's proving that biased media narratives won't go unchallenged. Which of these moments was your favorite? Drop a comment below and let us know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss more media takedowns. Until next time, stay informed and stay sharp.